Good morning. Good morning. Now, this is the second day of our workshop on innovative practices in PDS and food administration. Our first faculty of this day is Sri Murugesh Kumar Singh, IPS. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Raitu Bazar, Government of Andhra Pradesh at Hyderabad. Now I request Mr. Singh to deliver his lecture on Raitu Bazar. The term is not familiar to the participants.
Yeah, that's why I will start with that.
Okay.
Thank you. Ready? Right. Raitu Bazar is the word in Telugu means farmers. It's a farmer's market. So Raitu Bazar is normally what we see in every village and almost all mandal headquarters or Tahsil headquarters. The farmers come to the sandy and keep selling their vegetables and fruits. They produce this they produce. This concept was taken and to see that the farmer's share in the price increases. Normally it is seen and it is estimated that only 40%, less than 40% price share is with the farmers. So in order to improve their price share, see that the farmers themselves sell their own produce to reduce that middleman in the total food chain. This concept of Raitu Bazar was introduced in 1999. The first one, in 1999, this concept of Raitu Bazar was developed to facilitate direct market so that consumers and the farmers, both of them will be in win-win position. Normally when you see the chain of the vegetable right from the production to the sale to the market, we see that so many intermediaries are there in between. Everywhere there is a price hike. And by the time the product comes to the market, the price also gets inflated and the share of the farmer comes down. Finally, the consumer gets the product for a higher rate and the farmer gets it at the rate which is less than 40% of the total share. See that this is bridged, this gap has to be bridged. Then in 99 it was planned to have this model. This model is now there from last 10 years, active and working well. There are certain weaknesses and other things which we discuss in the later part of our discussion. So Raitu Bazars are planned for direct interface between the farmers and the consumers, eliminating middlemen. And this, the Act is also there in Marketing Act. We have just removed out of the Act because Act means there are many binding overs on the farmer. So to see that the farmer is not binded by the Marketing Act, the Raitu Bazars were kept away from the Act. That was one initiative which was taken at that point of time, so that it will not have those legal hassles. To keep it away from the legal hassles, this concept was taken out of the purview of the Market Act 1966. And basically, the Raitu Bazars are the facilities provided to the farmers. These facilities are provided free of cost. So this place, so what the government thought was to have a piece of land, the government land wherever is available, which is convenient to the farmers and the consumers. At present we have 107 Raitu Bazars in Andhra Pradesh. We'll go into details, how many of them are functional, how many of them have become defunct also because of such reasons. But to start with, there were 107 Raitu Bazars. Besides this, basically Raitu Bazars are there in the metropoles, that is Hyderabad city as such, then all the municipal corporations, catering to the urban needs. These peri-urban village clusters which grows vegetables are grouped together. The farmers are identified and these farmers are given identity cards to come and sell their produce in the Raitu Bazars. So the farmers who are in the semi-urban areas or peri-urban areas are identified. They are encouraged. Why I use the word encourage here is, lot of work has been done during 99 by the total revenue administration in the state. The joint collectors were made the nodal officers and they were asked to go and encourage the farmers to come to Raitu Bazar. Because farmer, as all of us know, has the loyalty factor. And also the factors other than loyalty, that is, he is financed by the middleman finances him, he is dependent on the middleman, and the faith relationship between the middleman and the farmer is there. The farmer doesn't mind getting little less. For him, the sale of his produce is more important. And to get some loan from the middleman. So he gets into that debt also. The debt trap, what we call the debt trap. To bring him out of that mindset, it took a lot of persuasion from the government of Andhra Pradesh through their collectors and the joint collectors and marketing department to go and encourage the farmers get into the Raitu Bazar. So that took a lot of time. Actually, the then administration was monitoring it every week. The Chief Minister used to monitor. Monthly reviews were taken, and it took a lot of foundation work was done by the revenue department to see that the produce come to the Raitu Bazars. Once Raitu Bazars were established, then there was a need to extend it towards the colonies. And that's where we started this mobile Raitu Bazars, especially in Hyderabad. 14 mobile Raitu Bazars are also functioning in Hyderabad, where in the green cities especially, they are attached to the Raitu Bazar, one Raitu Bazar. From there, they take the produce from the farmers, go to the colonies and sell the vegetables. It is running successfully. Pricing aspect is also very important, because when we are giving the facility to the farmer and when middleman is removed, there will be expectation from the consumers that the rate should be less. And this is the success story of Raitu Bazar. Whenever there is a problem, whenever there is a price hike, Raitu Bazar platform is used to control, or at least symbolically to make the people happy that the availability of the vegetables are available and at the affordable prices. Like we have the problem of onion now. So what we are doing for onion is, like yesterday our people have gone to Sholapur. We will bid there and bring the onions to the Raitu Bazars directly and sell it at 35 rupees. When the market rate is at 60 rupees, we are selling in Raitu Bazar at 35 rupees. This type of intervention is possible because of this platform. So that is another great help by which the consumers have been. These are some talking points about Raitu Bazar. So what we have done is, the price fixation is also taken in such a fashion that it should be always less than 25% of the market price, retail market price, and they are allowed to have 25% more from the mandi price. That where the bidding takes place, that mandi price, 25% more than the mandi. So overall the beneficiary is the farmer who gets the mandi price plus 25%. So if the farmer comes and sells the vegetables in a Raitu Bazar, he gets 25% more, and the commission which he has to pay, he need not pay. So the overall, his increase will be to 60%. What we thought is 40% goes up to 60 to 65%, minus the dead stock and the transport. So the price which he gets will be around 65%. So there is a jump of 25% in the profit to the farmers. This is the list of Raitu Bazars which we have. We have 23 districts in Andhra Pradesh. So there are altogether 107 Raitu Bazars in Andhra Pradesh. Right from Srikakulam to Nalgonda. The districts in Andhra Pradesh are bigger. This is the administrative setup of Raitu Bazars. Andhra Pradesh has different commissioners in agriculture. There is an agriculture commissioner, there is a horticulture commissioner, there is a marketing commissioner. Unlike in another states, some states there is only one agriculture department. In Andhra Pradesh, we have different departments taking care of it. So this Raitu Bazar, although it should have been with the horticulture, because Raitu Bazar is again a link between the production to marketing. But in those days, it was thought because it is a market, there has been linked to marketing. But the link which is required for the Raitu Bazar, the horticulture link, is established by Raitu Bazar itself. So it is under the Commissioner and Director of Agricultural Marketing. Chief Executive Officer is a policy maker. He coordinates and sees that the whole system works. At the district level, it is the Joint Collector who takes care of it. He is the chairman. He coordinates the Raitu Bazars and monitors at the district level. And this is a successful model because Joint Collector is one who has so many other agencies with him, so he can coordinate and then see that the original objective of Raitu Bazar is met. He is assisted by Assistant Director of Marketing at every district, ADM Assistant Director of Marketing, who monitors the Raitu Bazar. Each Raitu Bazar has an estate office, supported by some supervisors and then watchmen, the required least paraphernalia. He doesn't have a big number of people, and then estate officer is an outsourced employee. He is also not an employee from the marketing directly. He is an outsourcer. Now we are paying him 15,000. When it was started, he was paid only 4,000. So that's how each Raitu Bazar has an estate officer and supporting staff. As I told you, at the district level, Joint Collector is responsible for establishment and management of Raitu Bazar affairs. Day-to-day administration is taken care by the Assistant Director of Marketing. At state level, Chief Executive Officer Raitu Bazar is coordinating.
Tell them what is Joint Collector.
So Joint Collector is your ADM, Additional District Magistrate.
He is an IS officer.
He is an IS officer. Joint Collector is an IS officer, District Magistrate. We call collectors in South. So Collector and District Magistrate. Joint Collector is the Additional District Magistrate. He is the person who takes care of it. Especially he is Collector Revenue in the district.
You have said that district officer is an outsourced employee, and all his staff under him
Are outsourced. The total staff of the estate of the Raitu Bazar is an outsourced. State officer is an outsourced. The supervisor is an outsourced. The watchman is an outsourced.
and for the salaries they have to earn their own income.
No, actually that was what it was thought about. Marketing committees. We have agriculture marketing committees. Agriculture marketing committees takes care of their salaries and on wherever the Raitu Bazar doesn't have the facility of earning itself. Actually, to start with, Raitu Bazar started only as a facility. It was not envisaged to have its own earning. But in the process, then they thought that Raitu Bazar should also earn it itself. It is here they started giving it for rent. Some stalls were created and they were given on rent. The parking things were, the parking lots were also given on rent. Canteens were given on rent. So the money collected from that is paid to the employees of the Raitu. But initially it was the agriculture marketing committees of the districts were responsible for this and all those Raitu Bazars which are not having profits or extra income, they are managed by the agriculture marketing committee as their social responsibility. So, as I was telling, there is no market fee collected from farmers or Raitu Bazar. All facilities are provided to farmers with free of cost. That is, even the weighing machines are given to them free of cost. Here, one point is because you can't expect farmers to have the full basket of vegetables. He grows 2 to 3 varieties maximum. So, in order to see that the exotic varieties, that varieties which are not grown in that part of the city or the state, we have encouraged self-help groups to import the exotic varieties. What in Andhra Pradesh, potato, carrot, and then Mirchi, Bangalore Mirchi, which you call, and all those then beans, some of the things which are not grown there. These self-help groups are encouraged, and they are the people who are given, for them the stalls are given on rent. So rent is collected from them, which can be utilized for the functioning of the right. This is a self-help group, and so self-help groups are allowed to have their stalls on payment, and they are also allowed to import the vegetables which are not grown in this place. And then all farmers, as I told you, that every Raitu Bazaar has listed out the farmers, and during that time the joint collectors or ADMs were asked to go into the villages, identify the farmers, marginal farmers and farmers who can come to Raitu Bazaar, and they were provided identity cards. And weighing scales are given free of cost. The canteen, drinking water facilities, storage facilities has been provided, but some of the storage facility part has to be developed. And the best part is, it has become so popular that large number of consumers visit Raitu Bazaars for purchase vegetables. Farmers are getting better prices than the local markets, as the prices of vegetables are fixed by the estate officers. This is another thing which they do, that a farmers committee is formed in every Raitu Bazaar. These farmers, with consensus, they fix the rates, and the same rates are being circulated for the town. So local rates are fixed, and on the same rate it is sold. So the farmer decides the rate of the vegetables, with the binding that it should not be less than 25% of the retail market.
Estate officer, I think, with his approval, the estate officer, with the approval of the estate officer, price of a particular commodity is fixed. How that price discovery is made?
Actually, originally it was envisaged that farmers will come with their own production costs, and then all of them will sit together and decide a price. But in practice, what we have seen is the mandi price. The mandi price where the bidding takes place. Once the bidding takes place, in practice what we have done now is, the estate officer or a supervisor goes to the main mandi with one of the farmer representatives. Both of them go to the mandi, and in mandi the quality and the price, both of them are monitored. Once they come to know about a particular quality and the price, we make the model price, that is the highest price and lower price, and average is brought. That model price is fixed. So on this model price, 25% higher, it is sold in Raitu Bazaar. That is the modalities of fixing the price.
Mandi price means wholesale price.
Mandi means
wholesale price. Wholesale where the bidding takes place in normal mandis.
Are you facing any resistance from the mandis?
Initially, yes. Initially, when the Raitu Bazaar started, there was a lot of struggle. And that's where the police and the revenue administration was brought in.
And that is why an IPS officer has
the reason for. So that's where this administration was brought in to make them realize that this is only good for the society. And now they have come to terms with us, and there's no problem as such.
When you have started it?
99. It was started in 99. I joined only 4 months back, but it's a good model. Then similarly, consumers are getting, the best part is the clients. And the continuity of the Raitu Bazaar, in spite of the change of governments, is because the clients have taken it up. The consumers will not allow it to be closed. Lot of aberrations have crept in, but still Raitu Bazaars are popular for their price and variety, the freshness. Reliance.
What sort of aberrations you are talking?
I will be coming to that. When we will be coming to that.
It will be explained. Aberrations are already always explained last.
That's right. When we talk about our
the positive thing?
SWOT analysis, when we do our SWOT analysis, I will bring you that. Here, the merit of the Raitu Bazaar is that even Reliance, heritage which we have in Hyderabad, Reliance in Hyderabad, more in Hyderabad, in their board discussions, to fix their price, they will always ask, what is the price at Raitu Bazar? Right? So Raitu Bazar, in spite of a government agency, not purely a government agency, but still government monitored agency, has become a prime price fixer. And that is the success of it.
Benchmark.
It has become a benchmark, it has become a parameter from where the prices are fixed. So, that is the advantage of this Raitu Bazar. So, a total quantity of 20 lakh metric tons of vegetables are traded through Raitu Bazars every year. It will go up. Then, even then, it is only a small percentage of the total vegetable market, but still, it is a sizable percentage. And we all, as I was discussing, we do that market intervention. Around 5 lakh rupees is kept with the joint collector for market intervention. In market intervention, what we do is whenever there is a rise in prices, like we have this problem of tomato in summer, then like sometimes like onion now we are facing. So whenever there is a problem, like cluster beans we had a problem, so we went even up to Ranchi and to find out whether we can get cluster beans or not. So this is where the market intervention is possible to stabilize the prices in the market and give some opportunity for the consumers to have it at affordable prices. This is another success part of the Raitu Bazar. The vegetables are made available in Raitu Bazar through self-help groups. Sometimes the estate officer is made to sell when they find that the self-help groups are not coming forward. The estate officer, like onions, the estate officers are selling it. And I was selling vegetable prices are fixed by the estate officer with the consent of the vegetable grower farmers.
What is the role of district supply officer as has been mentioned here?
District supply officer's role is basically, initially, it was thought that the account will be maintained by the district suppliers. In joint collector is our ADM is our civil supplies officer. In Andhra Pradesh, it is the joint collector who monitors.
He is the collector civil supplies.
He is collector civil
Is the
supplies.
collector civil supplies.
He is collector revenue, he is collector civil supplies, he is collector for
Land acquisition.
land acquisition. So it is he, under him, so it is he who is monitoring, so he is assisted by the district supply officer. So remunerative prices to farmers and availability of fresh vegetables at reasonable prices to the consumers. Right over on an average 5,000 to 6,000 farmers. As I told you, collectors is that 5 lakh rupees with them, they are joint collectors. So next one, ready. Discuss about our strengths and weaknesses. Total 107. Raitu Bazars with good response. That is 7,500 quintals arrivals every day. There are 41. Raitu Bazars with the average response 3,000 to 7,000 quintals. 37 Raitu Bazars we have. Poor response is 29, which are more or less not running. And we propose to have 27 more Raitu Bazars. The strength, Raitu Bazar is taken as a parameter of fixing rates. It is a platform to stabilize rates, as we have seen, and they are very popular with the consumers. This is our strength. The weaknesses. Now we are trying to address these weaknesses. First is farmers losing interest. It's a fact that a farmer cannot be a trader. We have noticed that most of the farmers are not willing to be traders. Small marginal farmers, they are coming, but basically the other reason is also that most of the suburban areas have become now urbanized because of this real estate boom. The vegetable growing areas in Hyderabad, specifically if you talk about Hyderabad, it moved to 70 kilometers away from home. What used to be just 15-20 kilometers has gone up to 70 kilometers. So it becomes very difficult for a farmer to come 70 kilometers, then sell his products, again get back. Traveling the 70 kilometers is now a difficult part. So slowly the farmers are losing interest in coming to Raitu Bazar. Second point is domination of groups. This is an important point because farmer comes not regularly. He comes whenever he has a produce. The groups which we talked about, self-help group, are the permanent people there. The estate officer and self-help group form a nexus. So the self-help group will get a better place and positioning in the Raitu Bazar. The farmer gets a place which is not very attractive. So this is another weakness which we have started addressing that. The third is new middlemen, because the Raitu Bazar started in 99, so already 14 years. So what happened initially, farmers were coming and then they were selling the produce. Suddenly some of the farmers who are more enterprising in nature, they became the middlemen. So now what they are doing is they take the produce from the farmer, use the railways and the buses for that transport. They put themselves here, stay put here in the Raitu Bazar and start. So a new middleman has come. The major problem is there is no field information, no information of field position, because Raitu Bazars as being a part of the marketing department-wise when we discuss, it is with the marketing department, not the horticulture department. So the production department is horticulture, and Raitu Bazar's information which is to flow to the Raitu Bazar through the horticulture department. And there is no hold on the supply chain. That is, neither your transport in your hands nor the people, and then there is no monitoring system, nothing from that produced to this. Total management of the Raitu Bazar by outsourcing employees. Different farmer committees, whereas what we thought was the farmer, like all of us know that when we buy a pen, the price of the pen is fixed by the producer of the pen, whereas the price of the farm's product is fixed by someone else. We thought the farmer will fix his price. He will say that these are my input costs, this is my transport cost, this is the profit I want, and so this is the rate by which I will be selling the vegetables. But somehow it didn't happen. So we shifted to the second model, which we are talking about. We'll go to mandi and then fix the price of the mandi. And the lack of cutting edge, because every district has only one assistant director marketing. So there is lack of cutting edge supervision. The whole Raitu Bazar functions on the borrowed administrative machinery. So these are the weaknesses we have. Opportunities wise, demand for vegetables in urban areas, there will always demand, and then it's a very good business. So if the companies are formed, like Jammu, they have formed a company, farmer producers company. It is just 4 months old, but it is running into profits. Farmers themselves formed a company. In Bangalore, we have Hopcom, the Farmers Cooperative Society, which runs on profits. Then Safal, Delhi, and then Experiment in Bangalore. There are certain models which gives us the feeling, think that there is always a demand of vegetables and it's highly lucrative business. The scope of bridging the gap between the farmers and Raitu Bazars, it happens only in Raitu Bazar. And the last thing is the extending the facilities of farmers and consumers at their doorstep. Because we are with our mobile Raitu Bazars, and Raitu Bazars are located like in Hyderabad there are 14 Raitu Bazars. In Visakhapatnam also around 14. It means Raitu Bazars are geographically available in the place where it has to be. The spread is good. And Raitu Bazar is a big market. It is around, each one will be around 3 to 4 acres of land. I don't know in your thing how many, 3 acres, around 3 to 4 acres in the heart of the city. Threats. But a coordination problem between horticulture and marketing production department. This is where it was envisaged in the beginning. Now we are also doing that we will have this horticulture consultants for every district. So he goes into the villages, does that micro planning, encourage the farmers, and do that hand holding part. So that we have started. And then this new middleman thing, we have to make some arrangements to see that they do not grow. Then private economically sound retail markets dominating the procurement process. That's our reliance and all those things which have come. We have started this formation of this under RKVY program. There is a mandate to form the farmers producer groups. So in Hyderabad, we have already started. The horticulture department has formed this. So we will be using them as a platform to go nearer to them. In this concept, what we have found is, because we have said that the urban areas, because the extent of urban areas, the vegetable growing areas have gone away from the city. So we are intending to open collection centers, so that the farmer need not come up to, the farmer who is willing to come to the Raitu Bazar is welcome. But the farmers who are finding it difficult to come to Raitu Bazar, we will be extending our collection centers there. And then under this program, so that the group which are willing, they can be linked to the Raitu Bazar, brought into this. Horticulture consultants are being appointed by Raitu Bazars. We have started to liaison between the farmers and the Raitu Bazar, so that he will go and assist the farmers, tell them the, especially the building the loyalty relationship, so that the Raitu Bazars will, they will come to Raitu Bazar. In the micro planning, because we all see that a particular crop keeps coming in abundance. Last year, tomato was not there because previous that year, the prices of tomatoes went down because of the huge production. So all the farmers this time, instead of going to tomato, they have gone to other. Now this year the tomato price rise. So now this year, the present Kharif year and the Rabi, they will put tomatoes. So the cycle of glut and then scarcity will always be there. In order to see that doesn't happen, we are trying to make the farmers understand what is more profitable to them, when is that more profitable to them, because when we go around in the villages, I found some of the farmers are really very smart. I spoke to one farmer in last March when the tomato was very less in the market. He said, "Sir, I have sown it now. I will be selling this tomato for 18 rupees a kg. He is very confident that after 2 months his tomato will come. So, and the rate he can sell it at high. Similarly, when I went to Kolar, find out about the beans, there one farmer was selling. He has sown in that off period. He said, I will sell it for 80 rupees a kg, 80. Long beans and good variety, healthy variety. Such initiatives are available, and such initiatives the farmers are ready. Only thing we have to go and tell them when and where and what type of thing they have to sow. That aspect will be taken care of by this new consultants whom we are trying to, and the consultants we intend to have them from the polytechnics we have. We have a lot of polytechnics in Hyderabad, in Andhra Pradesh. So horticulture diploma holders, those people will be employed for that. Then, as I told you, giving top priority to farmers in Raitu Bazar by allotting stalls in prime locations. In the Raitu Bazar itself, we have now said that these stalls which are nearer to the gates, and I have segregated also that all leafy vegetables at one place, all vegetables at one place, and all exotic, that is potato, ginger, and then lasoon, there in one place. So naturally it will make the self-help groups go big. So the nexus between the self-help group and the estate officer can be minimized by doing that type of activity. We have started doing it. Then encouraging them to have their own transportation by pooling method. Some of them are doing, but make them understand the economics of it. That if they come shared in an auto or shared in a 1-ton Tata AS vehicles, they have, and then displaying all those things in the Raitu Bazars, educating them by putting flexi boards, displaying the schemes, extended by horticulture department, and initiatives of the marketing department. Self-help group, they are our necessary evils, but they are required. And that's the reason why the only thing is how to control them. We have come out with a GO in 29 telling that every 3 years we should change them. But as all of us know, it is very difficult to change them, and that too this year Andhra Pradesh will be going for elections. So next May is our elections, the general elections. So it's very difficult maybe after the elections, because for us, as all of us know, in the government department, the best years to work is the second year of the election and the up to fourth year of election. So that's the time when we can clean them up, or we plan to do that with that GO already in process. So that's all, sir. Any questions to be asked?
You just
Self-help group, is this self-help group a political group also?
No. These self-help groups are the group of women. Women groups are formed. Andhra Pradesh is pioneering this. So groups are formed. They are encouraged in the villages to have their own. They are thrift groups. What we call as thrift groups. So they have their own pooling of money. They run their own small transactions, and we.
Without having political identity.
No, they don't have political identity. Mostly women.
You just uttered a single liner that we have managed to sell onion at 35. Please explain. I think you have several sleepless nights.
True,
on
sir.
this issue.
True, sir. Because there are two things. One thing was,
How could you manage this?
there are two things. One is, when the onions rate started escalating, I went to the Onion Association in Hyderabad and had a discussion. Maybe because of my background, they're leaving apart. So I went there and I had a discussion with them and told them that it is their social responsibility. So we were not intending to have the first variety. We were intending to have the second variety. The second variety of onions, whatever may be the cost escalation, they should give it a particular price. At that time, I fixed it for 24 rupees. So for 7 days, we got the onion for 24. Then suddenly the price went little high. And Andhra, unfortunately, because of the agitations, because in Andhra, we have Kurnool is one place where the local onions are grown. Now the transport from Kurnool to Hyderabad has become difficult because of the agitation. That onion stopped. So the onion which we were selling for 24 rupees to around 25 to 24 rupees, we could not sell. The second thing again, I again went to the association, the Onion Association, had a discussion with them, and we said that whatever the onion which they are getting, the second variety, they should give us in that rate which they are getting from Nashik or from Shore. It is coming to them at 34 rupees. 1 rupee for the transport charges, for 35 years again. Yesterday I sent a team to Sholapur to have our own bidding. Maharashtra, Sholapur in Maharashtra, because it comes from that state.
How much distance is Sholapur from?
210 kilometers. 260. Around 260, 270 kilometers from Hyderabad. That initiatives are done for Hyderabad. Similarly, we are trying to extend it to other cities also. The whole problem is basically in Hyderabad.
Obviously, it is an urban.
So in Hyderabad, we started doing it. And not only the onions, even rice. We sell it in Raitu Bazar by facilitating the district supply officer. So whenever the price rise of the rice takes place, a particular variety is fixed by the joint collector from our direction. And it is sold in Raitu Bazar for a competitive price, like 30 rupees. Now the rice is sold at 30 rupees in the Raitu Bazar. Good variety, number one variety, because in Andhra they eat that thin variety. For that we sell it. So these are.
Is it possible to fix the price at the end of the CEO? So much improvement has taken place in the IT sector. I think you could easily have got the Aardman price.
Sir, here the vegetable is a local market. Basically, the local transporters.
I think that is also available in the Aardman.
Then we have to check it out, because like the price in Hyderabad, I monitor, as a CEO, I monitor only 7 cities to see that the prices in all 7 cities are more or less same. But even then, the transport always makes the cross size. So in Hyderabad, some of the vegetables we may get it for cheaper. In Visakhapatnam, some vegetables are we get it cheaper, like the brinjal variety. Some brinjal variety in Visakhapatnam will be lesser. That's on this part. Some varieties will be cheaper in Hyderabad. The cauliflower thing, which is now is cheaper in Hyderabad. And when it comes to Kurnool, it becomes costly. It all depends on the transport. So the local mixing of what we are trying to do is that the price for the town is same. We
Are you not planning any price commodity variety, extending it from vegetables to, I think, dairy or
So
your
dairy
biggest
development.
asset, that is fish?
Recently, our principal secretary said we will think about fish, because all those 21 Raitu Bazars which we have seen which are not working, we thought we will extend it to fish and floriculture, so that at least by that people will start coming in, and then the farmers will get a opportunity. So fish we are thinking.
Then I think the success of the Raitu Bazar is the opportunity to grow Reliance more and more. They were not in 1999. Because of the success of the Raitu Bazar, Reliance and Metro Fashion carry had something.
Those mainly wholesale chains, mainly. Can it be presumed that way?
Maybe, sir, because but Raitu Bazar, we are also now going like collection centers. Collection centers is mostly the concept of Reliance and Reliance model. The collection centers, we thought that is the best way. Then similarly, what we are trying to do is now going to there's a last point in that note I given, that the new thing is Manakuragayalu concept is thought of, that we will have a parallel mandi with the FPOs. The farmers produce, they will have the collection centers. From the collection centers, they will have a distribution center. From the distribution center, we will be employing, this is still in the process, that's why I didn't put it on the slide. From this distribution center, we will be employing 100 unemployed youth with a mobile rickshaws. So, and then for Hyderabad, to start with, we will be having 14 collection centers in the peri-urban areas. From there, we will be having distribution center in Hyderabad city, one part. Then from there, the vegetables will be distributed to the Raitu Bazars and also to 100 retail, either mobile or temporary structures. And that is under plan, so that we will be extending it more to the consumers. Thank you, sir. Any questions, please? Thank you.
Thanks to Mr. Singh for his valuable lecture. Now